Hey there, I'm Neil Patrick Harris. I am chuffed to be here my first time. Welcome to the Graham Norton Show.
So welcome to the show, and a special to our virtual audience watching at home. Hello! Aww. Lovely to see you, although it is so weird having an empty studio here. It's a bit like Donald Trump's farewell party. Yes, he's gone, ladies and gentlemen. On Wednesday, Joe Biden became the 46th President of the United States. Hurrah! So P46 for Biden. And P45 for Trump. Donald didn't attend the inauguration, no. He and Melania flew to Florida. That's them setting off, and here they are arriving. Someone's on holiday! Alexa, show me curtains from a 70s porn film. Meanwhile, the inauguration was a star-studded event. There they are, Lady Gaga and Lord Gaga. But one nice thing, leave him alone. The White House revealed that Donald Trump left a handwritten letter for Joe Biden. Would you like to see a copy of it? I think we have one. Here it is. So presidential. Yay, he's on. So who's on the show tonight? Well, with me here in the studio, it's the star of McMafia, Happy Valley and Little Women. It's James Norton. There he is. It's Arsenal legend turned pundit, Ian Wright.
I can clap myself.
I do, and she's the Oscar-nominated star of An Education, Suffragette and Drive. It's Carey Mulligan. Yay! Yeah, clap yourself. Shortly we'll be joined by the breakout star of the hit show Call My Agent, Camille Cottin, and Hollywood and Broadway star Neil Patrick Harris will be calling in. Woo! Plus, we'll have music right here in the studio from singer-songwriter Celeste. Looking forward to that. Real music. Who has seen Call My Agent? Is it you have seen Call My Agent?
I have seen some of it, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Have you watched it?
I haven't yet.
Have you
I've heard it from
Not
so
yet.
many people.
Oh, Camille Cottin, she's the breakout star.
Yeah.
It's such a great show.
Love
Great show.
Love it.
Now, first, you've never been on the show before. You hosted a chat show, so you're on home turf.
Yeah, I'm really nervous.
You're so not.
I am so nervous going right now. This is not my normal place, so I know that there's some form of football coming, some form of analysing coming, but this is totally different. It's totally different.
Yeah. Have your vodka tonic, you'll be fine.
That's
That's what Dr. Norton prescribes. Are you guys football fans? Carey looks away. I think doesn't.
No, but it's in my house. My husband refers to you as righty. I said, and he doesn't even know you. And I said, oh, I'm going on Graham Norton. Ian Wright's on. He was like, oh, righty. And I was like, oh, do you know him? He was like, no. Worships him.
I love it.
And of course, you two, you've worked together.
We have.
Yes.
Was it your very first job?
My first ever job, yeah. We haven't seen each other since, amazingly.
No, this is our reunion.
James says amazingly. Carey's going, uh-huh.
I know.
That's right.
I have to tell you, though, Carey, it was my first ever job, and all I had to do was...
So this was an education?
This is an education, we should say, yeah. And I was still at drama school at the time, and my job was to wave at you from across the street. All I had to do was wave. You had a big dialogue scene. And because I was at drama school, I was very committed. Everything was, lots of animal work and everything else. To the point where I was practicing my wave for about half an hour before. And then before the take, you were chatting to me very sweetly, being very welcoming. And all I was thinking was, I can't believe she's being so unprofessional, just chatting away. All I wanted to do was focus on my wave. And you were just putting me off and ruining myself. I'm sorry.
So
No. I mean, I'm sorry for being horrible. And then they cut the fucking wave.
Oh,
no! They weren't even in the film.
Had you over-rehearsed your wave?
I think so.
Because, Carey Mulligan, have you recovered from what sounds like a very traumatic Christmas? We all had a slightly odd Christmas, but yours, very bad.
Oh, mine was... Yeah, so I was coming into London and laden with a huge suitcase of... I was going to go and sort of socially distance, drop things off, presents and things to my nieces. And I was at the train station, and I had my headphones in, and I was listening to Taylor Swift, having, like, the nicest time on my own for a moment without my kids, my coffee, had a latte, and then I sort of went to sanitise my hands because I had touched the lift door. And so I got my sanitizer out, put my coffee down, and my suitcase just wheeled off the platform. Straight into the train tracks with my coffee and one of my headphones.
No, but here's the weird thing. So that's traumatic enough. Did you take this picture? Yeah. I love it. It was like, I'll probably be on a chat show at some point.
I genuinely did think that. I was like, there's nothing else to talk about, so this will be great, something.
So that's your coffee as well?
That's my coffee, I know. And actually my AirPod as well, which was so annoying. But then there were like 7 men who went down to go and collect it. And it was on the tip of my tongue to say, could you please see if my AirPod is down there? No, just leave it. It's not worth it.
Well, look, it's a new year. Carey Mulligan has a great new film. It's called Promising Young Woman. So, well, it's easier if you just tell us about it. Tell us about it.
OK, well, it's a full of spoilers, so it's really hard to talk about. But it's, I play Cassie. She's a 30-year-old med student still living at home. And she's dropped out of medical school for a reason that we don't know about. And almost every night she goes out and she goes to a nightclub and you've seen it, so I'm telling you the story. She goes to a club and she pretends to be really drunk, so drunk that she can't walk, and she sees inevitably when a nice guy takes her home, she then, when she's at his home, reveals that she's actually stone cold sober. And that's sort of the only thing you can say about the film.
Yeah, it is so good. It's really great.
Is it a horror film?
It's not. No, it's so many different. It's like romantic, comedy, thriller, revenge.
Right. Well, look, we'll talk about this more, but let's watch a clip to give people a taste of what we're talking about. This is Cassie with one of your nice guys, and this is right after you've revealed that, in fact, you aren't drunk.
I just thought that you were...
Drunk?
Yeah.
Really drunk?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. But that's good, isn't it?
I think you should leave.
Oh, now you want me to leave?
No, I'm really high. Like, I'm really high right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I think you should go.
But a second ago, you were determined for me to stay. You were pretty insistent, actually.
I'm a nice guy.
Are you?
I thought we had a connection, I guess.
A connection? Okay. What do I do for a living? Sorry, maybe that one's too hard. How old am I? How long have I lived in the city? What are my hobbies? What's my name?
Good, right?
A horror film? I see her shitting myself. That's so scary.
But it's a side of you I don't think I've seen you do this before. I mean, you look like you're having a ball in this film.
Oh, my goodness. I had so much fun. Bo Burnham plays the lead, who's a brilliant comedian, also directed 8th Grade, which was just one of my favourite films ever. There he is. Oh, he's so lovely.
Carey, you play the lead. He plays your love interest.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I believe Carey Mulligan's on the poster. I didn't see him.
But Bo's my boyfriend in the film, and he's a comedian, and everyone else who's in the film is so funny. Sam Richardson and Laverne Cox and all these people. And on about the 3rd day of filming, I was like, is this just what your life is? Like, laughing all the time? What have I been doing? Just these, like, terribly sad films about sad things for so long. Anyway, it was a real awakening.
Muscle around.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it was great. It was so much fun.
I love Jennifer Coolidge. I just adore her. Was she, I mean, on set, was she kind of off the leash?
Yeah, she was. It was amazing. So I'd always, loved her in the Christopher Guest movies, and obviously Legally Blonde. She's just like an icon. And so in this is dinner table scene where my boyfriend is meeting my parents for the first time, and Emerald, our director, just said, "Okay, guys, just improvise a bit of sort of small talk at the beginning of the scene, like ask what she does for a living, blah blah blah." So Bo was like, "Okay, well, so nice, thank you for having me. What do you do for a living?" And Jennifer was like, "Well, I discovered late in life that I really enjoy fish tank interior design." And everyone around the table just goes, "Oh." And I'm like, just shaking. I can't stop. So they had to cut. I ruined that one. And then the next one, well, yeah, I train small animals to detect carbon monoxide. cool. You know, so it just went on and on like that, and every single take I just ruined. And I think actually in the film you can see she used a take where I just kind of lost it at the end. She just thought it was funny.
Carey's new film is Promising Young Woman, and it's on release very soon. Right, time to meet our first remote guest. He's the Tony and Emmy award-winning star of How I Met Your Mother Gone Girl. Please say hello to Neil Patrick Harris. Yay!
Graham Norton.
Hello, Neil Patrick Harris. Other people here, James Norton is here, Carey Mulligan is here, Ian Wright is here. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Now, weirdly, we have sort of met.
We have kind of met, yeah. Not on the show. This is my first time on. I'm a little nervous, so forgive me if I ramble. But I was doing a Broadway show called Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And I had heard that you were going to be in the audience. And it was this really nasty kind of rock and roll, punk rock musical. And you had sat in the very, very front row, if I'm not mistaken.
In the middle. In the middle of the very row. I didn't book these tickets.
That's
Now, and you were with two other guys, and during the show, there's a part where, where Hedwig, who's pretty randy and nasty, you know, there's a good picture of her. She crawls down to the stage and just picks someone in the audience and makes out with them. So I started down. I scanned the crowd. I saw you. I went right for you, and I grammed my tongue down your throat. It was great.
I had the taste of cheap lipstick in my mouth for the rest of the show.
So nice to meet you on this second date.
Nice to talk to you, finally. So, now, Neil, you are here to talk about It's a Sin. This is the Russell T Davies drama. It's on Channel 4, set in the 80s during the AIDS crisis. So, tell us who you play.
I play one of the kids' mentors, I guess. I'm sort of a dandy guy on Savile Row making suits, and one of the characters named Colin, who's sort of more closeted, I guess, than the others. It follows 4 gay kids in their teens and 20s as they sort of come to terms with who they are, figure out how exciting life can be under this big giant shadow of HIV/AIDS, which was coming to the UK pretty intensely. So I'm kind of his friend, mentor, sort of a representation of a monogamy, a long-term same-sex coupling that I guess they don't see much of, especially back then.
Well, It's a Sin. It started earlier tonight on Channel 4, and all episodes are available on all 4.
Yeah.
We have a clip, Neil. This is you as Henry talking to your apprentice, Colin, played brilliantly by Callum Scott Howells. Here it is.
Where are you from?
Bryngors. It's in South Wales.
I guess it would be. You give that away slightly. But I don't suppose there's a girlfriend waiting back home in Wales, is there? Perhaps a boyfriend?
No.
But would there be, if you could? You don't have to worry about me. I'm not remotely interested. If you insist on asking, and really I can't get a word in edgeways with you, dear God, but I live in Hackney with a very nice man from the Algarve, and we've been together for decades, so you're perfectly safe with me, Colin Morris Jones. Really, though, perfectly safe. So there isn't a boyfriend?
No.
But you'd like there to be?
Yes. Oh my God.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Another pint for the bender, please.
That boy is so good, that guy, Callum.
He is so lovely, and he's, I think, still in school or just finishing school. He's Welsh, and Callum's just a beautiful soul, in and out.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Now, a very odd thing has happened just recently, I imagine, is the thing that made you a star, Doogie Howser, MD, they've announced they're going to reboot it.
Yes, Disney Plus is doing that. Super fun idea, and it's set with a female lead instead of a male, and it's set all in Hawaii, which is pretty exciting. I know nothing about it.
Do you guys all watch Doogie Howser?
I've watched a couple.
16-year-old doctor?
Yeah.
Carey's too young, she didn't.
No, I'm definitely not.
But are you involved in the reboot?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Although the creator and the writer was one of the How I Met Your Mother producers, oddly. So it comes with a decent pedigree. But no, I'm excited to watch it.
Well, now, as someone who you were a star as a very young person, so let's talk about this. James Norton, I turn to you. How old were you, respected actor James Norton, when you delighted your school with a lip sync performance?
I think I was about 12. I think I was 12, 11 or 12.
Let's go with 11.
Okay.
So, and who were you being in this clip?
I mean, obviously, you can see that I was Gwen Stefani.
Okay. So, now, bear in mind, when you see this, Neil, I didn't break into James Norton's house and steal this tape. No. He gave it to us. Okay. So, here we go. Tonight, 11-year-old James Norton is Gwen Stefani. Focus on the shoes. Focus on the shoes. Check out these shoes. Here we go. Oh, look at them. Are they your grannies? Here we go. We've seen enough now. Yes, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
That was awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's very good. That's very good. That's at the end of a terrible audition. Well done. Good for you.
That wig.
That was a tricky thing to put a dress on, especially at that age.
Yeah, I remember there was one wig, one dress, and one stick of lipstick, and one pair of shoes for any of the guys. There was all boys' school, any of the boys who wanted to play a girl, and I just happened to look exactly like Gwen Stefani.
Wow.
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny, isn't it?
I mean, if you hadn't told us.
I know. I spent years hiding that from people, and then for some reason I send it to you, and here we are. It's bizarre.
That's big, man.
This is sort of lockdown madness.
Yeah. No, I secretly I pine for those days. It's been down to them. Yeah.
Woohoo! And where are you? It looks fabulous. It looks like kind of, you know, Dr. Something's secret cabinet.
Does it? I'm in my office here at a farm in Long Island, New York.
Oh,
and it's cool. Yeah, it's all like I collect old magic, classical magic ephemera and haunted mansion memorabilia and escape room games.
Do you have a little friend with you?
I do. They told me to bring something.
Okay, yeah, go.
Somebody's like show and tell.
Yeah.
They said, what else weird do you have? Look at this guy.
It's an evil ventriloquist dummy.
You know what's nice about ventriloquism on TV is that you can't say the F syllable because F makes your lips move. So instead of F, you can say TH. So you can say like, hey, Grand, go fuck yourself. You're allowed to do it.
Oh, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Neil Patrick Harris, it's a real pleasure talking to you. It's a Sin continues on Channel 4. Neil Patrick Harris, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. OK, let's turn to Ian Wright. Your latest project is a podcast celebrating heroes in all walks of life. It's called Ian Wright's Everyday People. So tell us about some of the people you meet, because they really are. We were talking before the show. They're exceptional.
Amazing people. It's very emotional. It's very inspiring. I think probably Chris Brannigan, Major Chris Brannigan, and he's got a daughter who they felt that there was something wrong with her, so they kept taking her to the doctor, this and that, and they said no, there's nothing wrong with her. By the time she got to 7, they diagnosed her with CDLS, which is an uncurable. It's like a genetic disease. There's no treatment, no cure, and he realised that he needed to raise money. He needed to raise money fast for her treatment because there was nothing there for her. So he took on the challenge of walking from Land's End to Edinburgh Castle, and that might sound like, OK, yeah, it was fine, but he'd done it barefooted. And, you know, I remember speaking to him in it, and it's an unbelievable story because I remember he said to me, after the first hour, his feet were literally, it was so painful every step. And it was one of those situations where I said, is there any time you felt like to stop? He said, you can't stop. You know, in the end, they got there 700 miles. You know, he raised £500,000, £500,000. And not only did he raise the money, but it then also raised awareness for children with rare diseases. And this is why I wanted to do it because there's people like him who are amazing. Amazing people, do amazing things for people, inspiring people that don't get the light of day.
Yeah.
And that's why, because people say to me, oh, you're a hero, you scored goals. And you say, I scored some good goals. I ain't not gonna brush over that. But the fact is, Graham, it's that what he does, and they do it with no feeling for anything other than the cause. And it just makes me, like, doing it was just tissues everywhere. I was just crying everywhere.
And it is brilliant that you're shining a spotlight on these people in the podcast. And what's it like making a podcast? Because I know you've done loads of radio. Is it different than radio?
It's just, I think that there's an authenticity to it because people are being real. I love radio. I love listening to radio because it's very personable. You feel like you're just speaking to the person.
Yeah.
You know, you do your show, I listen to it every now and then. And I feel like you're speaking to me. And in the podcast, because you can be a little bit more authentic, be a little bit more yourself, you can go even deeper. And then what's lovely about it is that people then interact with it, and it just feels good because it's yours.
Very quickly, I just want to mention Arsene Wenger, because he was here before Christmas, and you were there at Arsenal for that changing of the guard.
Yeah.
Were you one of those guys who were really unhappy with all the, the new dietary requirements, all the discipline he introduced?
I was devastated. You're talking about a black man that needs seasoning on his food. So Arsene Wenger came in, and we're talking about, we'd probably have to eat that in its full like it is, because, like, no salt, no anything. All we can do was drink water and eat food. Like, the chicken was literally just boiled, and it just looks like just wrong. Everything was just, it was just for fuel.
Is it true you couldn't have tea?
Couldn't have tea, couldn't have anything. I remember there was a time I used to share a room with Dennis Bergkamp, and, like, Dennis is the greatest player I've ever played with, and, we shared a room and we was total opposites, chalk and cheese and personalities. And once we started doing it, Dennis done it right to the max, man. If the boss said, you drink a quarter pint of water, that's what he would do. I'd drink a pint of water. But the thing is, I remember I snuck in some tea bags. And
so rock and roll.
Yeah. I snuck in some tea bags, and I remember Dennis, he was just on the bed because we were sitting there watching the telly, and he said, "Is that tea bags?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, the boss doesn't want us to drink tea." I said, "Yeah, but he doesn't know. What's he going to say?" "Yeah, OK," he said, "yeah. OK, so the whole team's doing, but you're not going to do it. So when we need you most, you're probably going to let us down because you're letting us down, honestly." So in the end, I didn't have the tea. Because at the end of the day, what we went on to do with that team, because of him, is because we all adhered to what he wanted us to do. He's an amazing man. He's an amazing man.
And listen, football, it's been in the news of late because the FA, they're trying to get footballers not to celebrate when they score. Have you seen this in the news?
Yes, I've
seen
this.
They want them to avoid big kind of things like this. Mr. I Wright on the top there. And I suppose, could players play with face coverings?
I suppose they could. I think I saw a picture the other day with a guy who's abroad who played with a face covering.
Yeah, I've seen this picture.
Yeah, you see, I knew what
Guess who that is, Ken?
I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming in years to come.
Was that when you scored your 179th goal, by any chance?
I think you look at that picture, that's one of the most embarrassing pictures in the whole world for me, simply because I got to Arsenal. When I got there, everybody was saying, well, what we signed him for, we don't need him and that. So I was just worried about getting into the Arsenal team, let alone going on to break the record. So I had a shirt underneath, that shirt there underneath my shirt for about 5-6 games because I just couldn't score the goal. So when I scored the goal, I only equaled the record, I didn't break it. And I took the shirt off, man. It was just, like, so embarrassing. It was just like, I remember celebrating and I took it off, and I remember even the guy said, "Ian, have you broke it or you've equaled it?" And I went, "Oh, Jesus, I've only equaled it." It was like, something? It was one of those situations that for the next, 5-10 minutes I'm playing, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, that is so embarrassing. That's going to be on my highlight reel forever. And in the end, I scored a goal, and I scored a hat-trick in the game.
Okay,
in the end.
OK.
But, just to put things right, just to shut people up. But it was I think it's one of the few times on a football pitch that I was more worried about the embarrassment, what I just caused myself, than the actual equaling of the record.
Well, in terms of goal celebration, few can equal an Icelandic team called, is it Starman? Starman, yeah. Now, what they do, they are the masters of goal celebration. It's almost as if the match and the goals play second fiddle to their celebrations. We've got some clips. So this is, he's just scored a goal. Oh, but wait, what's happening? Oh, he's powering down. What can we do to help him? Here we go. Hey! This next one takes some explaining. Okay, here we go. So we've scored a goal. How will we celebrate? We will celebrate by forming a human toilet. There he is, having a go. And then he's just gonna put the lid down and flush. The amount of rehearsal that goes into this. And this next one is incredible. So he scored the goal, and now he's going to cast his line. Have I caught anything? Have I caught it? Why, yes, I have caught a big fish. But wait, what do you do when you catch a big fish? Why, you take a picture. There he goes. Very good. Amazing. Well done, Iceland. Right, time to meet our final remote guest. The French comedy series Call My Agent has been one of the binge hits of lockdown, and now it's back for its final season. Let's meet one of its stars. Please welcome Camille Cottin. Hello, Camille. How are you?
Hi. How are you? I'm fine, thanks.
Good, good, good. Where do we find you tonight?
I'm in Paris. To be honest, I don't have a flat that shows on the Eiffel Tower, so I bought a little Eiffel Tower for you, but my children found it before me. So, I'm sorry.
It's 2021. So listen, you're here to talk about Call My Agent, Season 4, currently streaming on Netflix, along with the first 3 series. So if somebody hasn't binged this yet, I have binged it. If someone hasn't, how do you describe it to people?
Well, it's like a dive in the industry, in the backstage, and agents are like the shadows of actors, but they're also pulling the strings, but you never see them. And it's like getting into this family. It's like a little firm, but dealing with human issues.
And your character, Andrea, she's very sort of no-nonsense. She's very direct.
Yeah.
Is she based on an agent? Is she based on your agent? Is she based on an agent you know?
No, she's based on an agent called Elisabeth Tanner. She's very famous because she's known as being icy, cold, very beautiful. I'm not saying that for the fact that
You've said it now.
Okay.
You've said it now.
No, but I was impressed. I was really impressed. But she's like this beautiful woman who likes women, so she doesn't care about men. She don't need to seduce men. And she's like so hard in business, and she's passionate with independent cinemas. So she's like this, she's strong temper woman.
Well, listen, I know that people, certainly, you haven't seen Season 4 yet, have you?
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Camille, can I ask, has it changed your relationship with your agent? Because I have an agent, and now I can't look at her in the same light. I feel like she's controlling my life. And I wonder, from your point of view, has your relationship with your agent been changed?
I keep apologizing all the time. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry to ask you this.
Well, listen, people are desperate for Season 4, so here is a little taste of what to expect in the final season of Call My Agent.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe ici?
Bah, c'est lundi.
Alors, pour le 3e bras...
Quand il y a un 3e bras, je veux faire le film, mais il n'est pas question que je le fasse.
Je veux faire du stand-up.
Je vais partir avec Charlotte dans ma panier pour rejoindre Serge dans les nuages.
Mais je vous jure que je suis très très drôle, hein.
Bon, bah j'en déduis que c'est non pour Camping 4. T'as vu la gueule de Camping 4? Comment tu fais, toi, pour rester force tranquille, comme ça?
Je te rassure tout de suite, je suis ni forte ni tranquille en ce moment.
It's boring.
OK, I get it. OK, fine.
J'en peux plus.
J'en ai marre. J'en peux plus de tout ce cirque.
Je rentre à Los Angeles.
Génial, on l'a.
Great! And am I right in thinking that all of the bad behaviour and the crazy situations we see, that they are taken in some form from real life?
Yes, absolutely. And the cool thing is that the actors, they are endorsing stories of other actors, obviously. And they agree to act something that happened to colleagues, but that they will endorse as something that happened to them. So this is the thing, yeah.
Because, you know, Carey and James, you've been on lots of film sets, so naming no names, have you seen kind of the crazy behaviour, the kind of weird demands and...
I mean, Carey Mulligan in An Education... ruining my wave.
She insisted the wave was cut.
No, I went into the edit. I didn't like his animal energy.
No, you must have seen terrible things.
I haven't seen terrible things. I've seen sort of irritating things. I've seen people throw their weight around in a way that, like, you know, they're sort of late.
Oh.
And I'm, you know... Or I've seen... Someone said in a scene once, like, I'm only doing this one more time. You know, this is my last one. And I just thought in my head, said no actress ever in the history of the world. Continue. So I think, you know, there's stuff like that, you know. But it's not the big diva demands.
Ian, you had some diva demands on your chat show, didn't you?
No, well, I had Mariah Carey on, and the thing with Mariah Carey is that everybody was quite nervous about the fact that she was coming on, but when she came, she didn't have too many demands. The only thing she wanted is it's like Carey coming on and saying, well, I want to sit in that chair. So that's what Mariah Carey done on my show. She wanted to sit in that main chair. And I said, yeah, but we had a really cool time. She wasn't...
She didn't have many demands.
No. She just wanted the main chair. I just gave her the main chair.
What was it about the chair that she wanted? She just wanted to be in the middle?
She wanted to be on that. She said that's her side. So that was her side. So if where you are, I normally sit where Graham, and then she wanted that chair. I said, yeah, have it. It was fine. We had a really cool time.
I had a Russian actor who did that, who came in, saw the set, said, that's not going to work because that's my side.
That's my side.
We had to switch the whole set. Yeah. But the Russians can get away with that.
Yeah, I'm scared of Russians. Russians will do anything.
Yeah.
And Camille, there's a weird link to Britain as well, because one of your, I don't know if you'd call it a career highlight, but you made a show called Connasse, which was a kind of a hidden camera show.
Yes, absolutely.
And this came to a climax in London.
Yes, because at the beginning it was just a short show for TV. It was 1.5 minutes. And then the two creators of the show decided they would make a movie, like a 1.5 hour movie. And they said, OK, what could be the best desire for Connasse, which is a Parisian beach, would be the translation. And they said, well, marry the prince. OK, which prince is the most glamorous to be married? Obviously, it was Harry, because he was single at the time. So we went and hunted Harry.
but you filmed, people couldn't see the cameras, but you were in real places. You came to London and you went to Kensington Palace.
Yeah. They told me, OK, now you're going to climb the Kensington Palace fence and you're going to shout Harry and hope that he will hear you. And I did, yeah.
So, presumably, police came very quickly.
No, that's the problem. There was this little Bobby in his little cabin, and he was really just in front of the fence. And I thought he would come immediately, but he couldn't hear me. So I literally stayed quite high, like about 5 minutes, which is very long when you're on the fence of Kensington Palace with high heels. And I was shouting, Harry! And there was hundreds of tourists, I mean, maybe not hundreds, but let's say 20 tourists stopped, like, looking at me, and the Bobby never came out. I mean, he came, but, like, you know, long time after. So...
can I just say, if someone's sitting in Kensington Palace tonight, you shouldn't feel that safe, because the police didn't spot this woman. Look at a picture. They didn't spot her. No, because when I heard about it, I just thought, oh, you were at the bottom, kind of rattling the thing. But
it's pretty high.
So, yeah, that was quite embarrassing.
Well, listen, Camille Cottin, it's been a treat. Call My Agent is streaming now. Camille Cottin, everybody!
Bye.
Now, James Norton, ladies and gentlemen, brings us a really beautiful new film. It's called Nowhere Special. It's out on the 2nd of April, and I think the plan is that it will go into cinemas.
Yes, definitely. We hope so.
Yeah. And so explain to us the heartbreaking premise of this film and who you play.
So it's a story, a very sort of simple story about a father and a son, and I play John, who is a 35-year-old window cleaner from Belfast, and he's dedicated his life to bringing up his 4-year-old boy, Michael, and he has been tragically diagnosed with a very aggressive form of brainstem cancer and has 3 months to live. And he spends those 3 months, which is where the film kind of takes us, he spends that time preparing his son for his death, both in a kind of emotional, philosophical way, trying to explain to a 4-year-old what it is for his father to die, but also in a practical way. And he visits various families who might be potential foster families for his boy, setting up a life for him.
I genuinely feel like I'm going to cry.
No, because I was thinking, and you cried in the podcast. I mean, here's the thing, though. It is heartbreaking. I did sob and sob and sob. But the joy in this film, and I was saying to you before, is you and that little boy. Is his name Daniel Lamont?
Daniel Lamont, who is an absolute...
How old is Daniel Lamont?
He was 4 when we shot it. And
so, like, did you do chemistry tests? Were you involved in the casting?
Yeah, we did. We looked at. I mean, the producer, the director, and casting director looked at 100 young boys, and then whittled down to Daniel. I think they saw Daniel quite early on, and then it was kind of decided very quickly. But I mean, often, you know, what's it like? What it's like preparing for a movie. It's often quite, you know, lots of reading and very like earnest stuff. And actually, with this film, the key thing was just gaining his trust. So I spent a lot of time going over to Belfast and just hanging out with him and his lovely family in Ballymena, and basically just hanging out in his bedroom playing with his toys. And by the time we came to filming, he wanted to be on set because I was his friend, and we really did find a very, very special relationship.
And did he go cold turkey on James Norton, or were you weaned out of his life?
No, I've kept in touch. He texted me, his mum texted me last night.
As good as he texted me. Wow, he's really good.
Yeah.
He's actually 14.
They're very much in my life, and I keep in touch with them, and they sent a very lovely message last night wishing me luck on here, and we went to Venice together, which was lovely because we were at the festival there.
Did he go with you?
The whole family.
Did he wear a little suit?
Oh, yeah. He went on my shoulders on the red carpet.
Oh, did we show that picture? Have we got the picture of him in the little director's chair? Oh,
yeah, there he is.
They gave him his own little acting, little actor's chair. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Anyway, our clip is, this is you as John meeting one of the prospective families for Michael.
Does he like nature? We're very outdoorsy people. We like to go for long walks, as you can see. We were thinking about maybe getting a dog.
I know Michael would love a puppy to be responsible for.
Great. I sort of hope the boy would enjoy the same childhood as ourselves, not just inside on the computer all day. And here he's free to run around, not be mollycoddled, free to climb trees and fall out of trees. I mean, we look after him, obviously, but you know what I mean.
No, I'm sure he'd love to climb trees. He's a quiet wee boy, but he listens, and he's always well behaved. He's very popular at school. I'm always being told what a great kid he is. He's loving Curran. He's a happy wee boy.
So good. And we saw there a glimpse of ink, but in fact your character is fully inked.
Fully inked. It took about a couple of hours every morning, yeah.
There you are, fully inked.
Yeah. When
wow.
When actors get a new thing done, often, I think the first thing they do often is they go back to their trailer and they take a photo and they send it to their partner or their mum, and then it's sort of ironic at the beginning, and then they take 10 more, and by the end they're very committed. And I looked at my selfies at the end of the shoot, and I'd taken a lot of photos looking as hard as I could with my tat.
But of course, this isn't your first tattoo. Happy Valley again, lots of tattoos. And wasn't there a thing where you couldn't be bothered to take them off?
Well, no, I went... In the second series of Happy Valley, I had a shaved head and I had these kind of homemade prison tattoos, these crucifixes in my hairline. And one weekend, I thought I'd leave them on and go home and see my family and, you know, show them the tats. And I was sitting on the train on the way home, and these guys kind of came up the train. The kind of guys that guys like me just respect straight away, you know? And they tapped me on the shoulder and they were like, yeah, bruv, that's some sick ink. Yeah, like nice tat. And because obviously I sound like a, you know, like a prick, I couldn't speak. so I just sat there in silence, just going.
I like that. Right, it's time for music. This singer was the sound of 2020 and won a Brit Award, all before releasing her debut album. Here performing Love Is Back, it is Celeste!
Love is back. Love is back. For a moment there it goes, turn around, next thing you know, love is back. Oh my God, I feel so bored. I'm starting to realize that all the boys that I find out trouble. I told my mother, she said, go get your glass full. So I did, and I saw you. I saw you gleaming across the scene, across the room. It's all in you. I need the meaning when I see it all in you. Love is back. Love is back. For a moment there it goes, turn around, next thing you know, love is back. Hallelujah, it's nice to know you. It's so peculiar how you've come and changed my mind. I fall head first, I hope it doesn't hurt. What's your preference? 'Cause I know mine, and it's you. Foolish of me to say these things, but I want to. I know it's so in you. Don't need a reason when I see it all in you. Love is back. Love is back. There it goes, turn around, and next thing you know, it's back. Might be foolish or out my mind, must have said it 1,000 times. Can't be lying if I see it true. I know when I look at you, might be too young to realize if there's a mountain I should have climbed. There's a love is back.
To the last drop. Celeste, everybody! Oh, come on over, do, Celeste. Lovely, Kev. I can help you, but I can't. I guide you in, but I can't. You're in those heels on your own. There's a lovely clean chair for you. Ian, James, Carey, Celeste. Yay! No, because often in the studio it doesn't sound the way, but that voice, whoa.
Oh, my God. It's
amazing.
Well, you can also listen to it again because it is on your debut album, Not Your Muse.
Not a real one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. That's it. I don't know what's in it, but it's out next Friday and you can pre-order that now. How exciting, your debut album.
Yeah, I'm so excited that it's finally happening. I think, like, in the process of making it, I was like, I don't really know how to do this. And then eventually it sort of all came together. And then I didn't know if anyone would actually hear it, so I'm glad that
Yeah, it's happening.
I think it's going to happen. I mean, what a year. And oddly, because welcome to the studio, because the last time I saw Celeste, were you in your bedroom?
Yeah. Because
you were I think you were the guest on our very first lockdown show way back in March, was
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
Yeah.
I had all of these, like, sorts of, like, apparatus and poles and curtains delivered to my flat and then spent the afternoon setting it up in my room, like, what am I doing? But, yeah, it worked out quite well.
No, it did. It was gorgeous. It was really, really good. And what's incredible is, you know, I think everyone's been kind of wrong-footed by what's been going on, and people have kind of gone, oh, I'm stopped. But you haven't. You've broken through. You've had this amazing impact in 2020.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I just kept on going, really. A little bit out of fear, I think, that everything would just sort of stop and I'd come back with new songs and everyone would have disappeared, so...
Well, there'll be the new person behind you. There'll be the sound of 2021. Back off. I'm still the sound of 2020. Oh, thank you very, very much for that beautiful performance. Celeste.
Thank you.
That's Celeste. Woo! Now, that is nearly it. Before we go, we do have time for a quick visit to the big red chair. And once again, audience watching from home. So, do we have a volunteer to sit in the red chair?
I'll do it, Graham.
Oh, isn't he good?
Can I go through here?
You just, yeah.
I'll do it, Graham.
Exit righty. It was a stage direction joke. OK, while Ian gets settled, let's see who's up first. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica. And where do we find you tonight, Jessica?
I'm in West London today.
West London. So close. Very close.
London, very close.
OK,
yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
And what do you do, Jessica?
I'm a fundraiser manager for a charity.
Oh, now, see, this story will have to be very bad for me to flip, Ian. OK, Jessica, off you go with your story.
OK, so the incident happened, you know, during the first lockdown when we had that heat wave and it was really, really, really hot. And I just couldn't cool down. And anyway, so I couldn't even be bothered to make my dinner. So I ordered a Chinese. And while I was waiting, I felt really, really faint. And I just was trying to cool down. And I thought, you know what, there's nobody around. I'll just take all my clothes off. So I took all my clothes off and lie on the sofa.
I found I didn't want to hear that story. Because I was here, I never remember being that warm.
And the mixture of the Chinese as well.
Chinese seems like such a bad shout.
Yes, I've ordered, I know there's somebody coming, so I'll take my clothes off. Wasn't that warm in West London? Are you OK, Ian?
Kind of a bit of whiplash. It goes back pretty hard, man. You know, I didn't say that.
Oh, you're one of those footballers, aren't you? Go, ow! 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 My neck! OK, who's up next? Hello. What's your name?
Trish.
And where are you, Trish?
I'm in County Meath in Ireland.
OK, Trish, off you go with your story.
OK, so when I was 11, just 2 weeks before my confirmation, I was having a race with a boy in my school. I was desperate to beat him. I was running so fast, I ran into a wall. Literally bounced off the wall, gave myself concussion and ended up in hospital with 2 broken wrists. My mom said she was absolutely mortified because the doctor thought I'd been in a serious car crash and she had to say, no, she ran into a wall. So my confirmation day, we'd been rehearsing for days because the bishop was going to be there. It was a really important deal. I walked up the aisle, my arms in plaster of Paris, very, very nervous. I knelt in front of the bishop, but because my hands were in plaster, I couldn't steady myself, and I lost my balance completely, and I went headfirst into the bishop's crotch.
Yay! You can walk, Trish! You can walk! There you go! Oh! That really is all we've got time for tonight. If you'd like to have a go in that chair yourself and tell your story, you can contact us via our website at this very address. Please say a huge thank you to all of my guests tonight. Celeste! Camille Cottin! James Norton! Neil Patrick Harris! Ian Wright! And Carey Mulligan! Join me next week with the comedian Andy Osho, actors James Nesbitt and Billy Piper, music legend Sir Tom Jones, and Hollywood star Sam Neill. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
With guest judge Sheridan Smith. Press red now to watch brand new RuPaul's Drag Race UK with BBC iPlayer. And make sure your Saturday night revolves around BBC One. Michael McIntyre's back with The Wheel from 8:30. Next, the story of a man's life cursed with a craving for human blood. An interview with the vampire.